Welcome, welcome. We are live on the channel of From the Beacher Sports Show. And if you're new here, checking out the stream, what On Tap is we're basically we're talking about sports, kind of in a video podcast form, kind of a long version form. Videos that we did not have a chance to cover, topics that we did not have a chance to cover during the week. They range from everything and anything. Actually, this one is a little bit behind, as I haven't done one. We did not have a chance to cover topics that we haven't done one in quite some time, and I always say that this will be the time, this will be the week that we will make it consistent. And this just been so busy, but throughout the week I do post regular short form videos covering topics in all of sports. I've been behind on that as well, just been really busy. But we're going to pump out some videos. We're going to do On Tap. And On Tap, first of all, whatever beverage of choice you have, let's raise it up and cheers. Happy Saturday, of course. We're going to talk about baseball, football. We're going to keep this not too long, guys. Just kind of shoot and chat about some of my concerns from the sports week, or some of my thoughts from the sports week that was. And I hope all is well. Please do subscribe. I have a secondary channel. It's called Gres, Gres. It's not sports related, but it covers like filming locations, crime locations, famous graves. Things along that sort. But jumping into sports, if you're from New York here, if you're a Yankee fan, you're just honestly just shaking your head. Some teams have they have goals and expectations, right? Goals and expectations, and the fan base, obviously has the team has team goals. The fans have expectations of their team as well. And if you're a Yankee fan, I think the expectation going in every year, for the most part, is to win the World Series. World Series or bust. It is a team that spends a lot of money on payroll, and thus is expected to produce results, to be in the playoffs, and not only be in the playoffs, advance, win the World Series. And as a Yankee fan here too, 40-year-old, 41-year-old Yankee fan soon, I honestly can't complain, right? I have seen a lot of championships as far as the baseball, as far as the baseball team. The 90s, those were the glory days. Most notably, I think the last one was 2010, right? Don't quote me on that. I think it was like 2010. But the point being, it's last World Series for the Yankees has been a really, really long time. And though we should be grateful, we're Yankee fans, and that's not acceptable. So here we are, fast forward to the year 2021, and we're ousted again. Ousted this time in a wild card game. Just to put it in perspective, right? We're ousted in a wild card game by a team that last year Didn't even make the playoffs. It was horrible. The Red Sox were thought to be a team that's in the rebuilding stages, and that that there won't even be so much of a factor. Going into this year, the main worry that the Yankees had was the Tampa Bay Rays, as odd as that may sound, who actually were, put away by the Red Sox, right? But, the saying goes, that is baseball. And here we are. The Yankee fans are kind of at odds as to what are we going to do. And they're calling for the head of Aaron Boone, some even Brian Cashman. But for the most part, it's for the head of Aaron Boone. And see, Aaron Boone, it's not Aaron Boone's fault, honestly. Aaron Boone, the manager, and this is just my thoughts, particularly with the Yankees and how things are like analytically now. The manager only realistically, I think, affects, during the course of a season, this is just my thought, 10 to 15 games. That's the effect of a baseball manager. 10 to 15 games are going to be the direct result of having a baseball manager. He's going to determine whether the team wins that game or whether the team loses that game. This is not the days no longer of, and you remember those days when you had, managers rather, that were so involved with every decision. Tony La Russa, who back then, and this is a long time ago, you would just scream at the TV when you see lefty, righty, all these special matches and lineups, and it's a different game. It's a different game. Everything is based on analytics and what the quote unquote geeks upstairs think, and statistically what they feel will happen. So the point I'm trying to make to you is the manager at this stage of the game really does not affect anything. And the way the Yankees operate and Brian Cashman operates, who do you think, if they fired Aaron Boone, who do you think they would replace him with? It's not going to be a Buck Showalter, because Buck Showalter is going to want to have control. And the Yankees, their manager now, he really doesn't have any control. He has control to a point, but he's mostly a yes man, and that's what Aaron Boone is. So if Brian Cashman is still here, and the analytics, the stats, all the geeks upstairs with the Yankees are still there, well, the next type of manager will be Aaron Boone-like, and it really does not matter. So even though the Yankees did not announce it, their best option is to continue to have Aaron Boone, because, well, you sleep with who you know rather than sleep with someone that you don't know, if that makes any sense. The point I'm trying to make is, at least with the Yankees, the manager is more of a yes man and carries out the requests from the people upstairs mostly in the booth, right? So with Cashman, and listen, Cashman has some of the blame here too. I mean, he has failed to really address this team where it's successful for them. His team, was really lethargic. Yes, he picked up some players to try to gap holes, but, for the most part, this team was lethargic from the very beginning of the season, which is a problem. and that's something you have to address. You have to get different types of players. It seems like the Yankees are one-sided, and that's just, hitting the home run ball. I have always thought to myself for the longest time, the Yankees should have gotten a player like a Michael Brantley, a different type of a player who will work the count. Why don't the Yankees have a couple of one person that is able to bunt in the lineup, another person that's able to steal bases in the lineup, another person that's just constantly getting singles and doubles and is able to work the count? What happened to those ball players as opposed to just getting the ones that, all or nothing jack the baseball? I'm sure some of these old school players are still around. They have to be somewhere. The team has to have diversity because it's obviously has not been working. It has not been working for the Yankees of recent memory. You really got to, try to change something up. So relax, Yankee fans, whether they announce it this week, next week, the following week. I think Aaron Boone's staying. And, so I think that would be the announcement. And, it's a different type of regime. I think if George Steinbrenner was around, oh my goodness, heads would be falling and people would be fired. But it's not that team anymore. And for what it's worth, Yankee fans, everything that we've been going through, all the heartache and disappointment that we've been going through the last couple of years, just thank yourself that we're not, let's say, in Pittsburgh and our team there is the Bucks, where the Bucks owner says, oh, if the fans would come, I would, put some money into that team. So you can have it that way as well, I guess, if you look at it. Want to go just kind of give you my quick. I know it's some of the games already started, right? But I want to give you my quick kind of predictions here going forward in baseball, since we were on the topic of baseball. The American League Championship Series, just kind of want to give you my prediction here. Just a brief 1 or 2 sentences. I think it's going to be the Astros in 6. MVP, Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa, the villain. The one thing that we'll be talking about, it's still the concept of hitting for contact. Hitting for contact. Dodgers versus the Braves. Dodgers, by the way, who, interesting story and kind of just kind of interesting to see what does happen in the off season. But they do lose. They lost Clayton Kershaw last game of the season. So Clayton Kershaw, by the way, Clayton Kershaw has been around for quite a long time. But he's only I believe 33, which is still, relatively not bad, relatively young. Dodgers, Braves, man. I'm going to have to go with Dodgers in 5. I'm going to say the MVP, Trey Turner. What's going to be the difference in this game? You're going to be talking about at the end of this, how marvelous or what a steal it was when you were able to add Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, who is one of the most, I think, dynamic talents right now in baseball. Bullpens might be is difference in bullpens. Listen, Dodgers bullpen, very good. The Atlanta's bullpen still remains a dicey bullpen. Very much so, a dicey bullpen. So you gotta be prepared for that as well. Just hold your breath. Woof the bullpen. Still, kind of just I want to touch base, briefly jump into. I'll jump back into baseball, but we have to kind of jump into Jeff Gruden. Jeff Gruden resigns from the Las Vegas Raiders. He still had a boatload of years left on his contract. Boatload of money left on his contract. I think he was even in the process of building a new home in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. It's interesting. Apparently, with everything that happened in this email that dates back, and if I'm getting the story correctly, it was a company email, first of all, and I know this was years ago. A company email is filtered, it's monitored daily. How are you, how are you writing all this on a company computer? How are you doing this? Or rather, why aren't you thinking before you're acting? First of all, the way you're thinking, obviously, kind of, you deserve to be in the spot that you were, and you deserve to be outed, and you deserve to be gone from football. But you're doing this on company email, a company account. Do you not, a company email, company account, do you not think that anything is going to happen? I don't understand. Nonetheless, Jeff Gruden resigns from the Las Vegas Raiders. Still nonetheless, okay. And apparently, which just baffles my mind in this frame of thought here. Apparently, this information was already out on Friday, and Gruden resigned on Monday. So, did they honestly think that it would be in the Raiders' best of interest to still keep Gruden on as head coach? So what is going on? What type of, maybe, Jeff, maybe we could still have you on board type of conversation is going on from Friday to Monday? Love to be a fly on the wall on that. But, put that aside, and I don't think before he ever gets back into football, it's gonna be before even anyone will take a chance on him. I think is going to be quite some time, if at all. But honestly, and he was actually taken away from the Tampa Bay Bucks Hall of Fame ring there. For all this hype that we have about Jeff Gruden for all those years prior, he's barely a 500 coach. I mean, this time around with the Raiders, and I'm not in the Vegas area, but this time around with the Raiders, really nothing special. What have the Raiders done? What have the Raiders done? Not much. I don't even recall them even really being in the playoffs at all. Nothing really was the money worth it that the Raiders spent to get Gruden. I know they were in kind of in a dire, desperate position. Jeez. That's rough. Now, here's my question. Here's my a gripe with the NFL. Okay. Now, obviously, hear me out on this. Okay. How are you in the NFL saying that you are against what Gruden has said and what he's done? If you say this, right, why are you hiring the type of Super Bowl halftime talent that you're hiring? Explain that. If you listen to some of the lyrics, some of the songs of these artists performing, kind of a double standard, right? And listen, I get it to a point that the NFL, is just how the NFL is trying to. Okay, a point I'm trying to make here is if you had an act on the Super Bowl, such as I don't know. If you had an older act, let's just put it, right? If you had an older act, the people watching at halftime, let's rephrase it. The NFL is trying to cater to the younger audience, right? You're not going to have a group like U2 performing. But you can't be coming down on Jeff Gruden. Okay, listen, Jeff Gruden, guilty, does not deserve to be in the NFL. And still carry the same type of talent that you will have for the Super Bowl halftime show. That's unacceptable. Double standard. You did the right thing by kind of forcing or making sure that Gruden would be out. But who you have as far as your halftime show, well done. And you should listen to those lyrics on some of those songs. But if you don't want to be a team or if you don't want to be a league that's two-faced, two-sided, you better fix your halftime show. You better fix it. Kyrie Irving. Man, I am a Brooklyn Net fan. Die hard Brooklyn Net fan. Brooklyn Net fan, since the days of when they were in New Jersey, Drazen Petrovic. That's how far back I go. You might say, well, that's, I'm only, I'm 40, so that's my earliest memories. Drazen Petrovic. So I've been with this team for a very long time. And for Kyrie Irving, man, I don't see Kyrie Irving. Okay, if you don't realize what's going on here in New York, which is obviously where the Nets play, there is a to use to be able to use restaurants, go to museums, go to bars, go to MSG, go to Barclays Center by ordinance or by ruling of the great Bill de Blasio, the mayor here of New York City. You have to be vaccinated. And Kyrie Irving is not vaccinated. So, put in perspective, in New York, every professional sports team, every player, let's rephrase that. If you're playing in New York City, you have to be vaccinated. So Kyrie Irving who wanted to come here. He wanted to come to the Brooklyn Nets. This was his place to play. He's not vaccinated. He has gone on Instagram Live to kind of, and he stated, listen, I know I'm letting my teammates down. I know my teammates are depending on me. I know I'm counted on to, play for this team and help this team win. I know that I am very fortunate. He has said this recently on an Instagram Live. He said he knows he's very fortunate to be in the position that he's in, where he basically really does not even, you know, he's in a really lucky position where a lot of people consider, being an athlete kind of a recreation, not a real job. So Kyrie Irving has God-given talent, and he recognizes that. And he recognizes what how important he is to the team. Kyrie Irving, by the way, had an extension on the table. And since all of this has happened, the extension has been taken off the table. With Kyrie Irving, you might say, listen, he was getting in fights with, he couldn't handle being not the number one option in Cleveland with LeBron James. May argue that he's caused problems, he's caused drama with, while he's on the Boston Celtics. Fact is, this guy's talented, and the Nets are willing to spend as much as they need to keep, Kyrie Irving around. But now, because Kyrie Irving, he can't play. The thought is that he would play away games. That's what he wanted to do. And the Nets came back and said, no, can I have a part-time player, so to speak? And Kyrie Irving, to me, all indications are that his teammates love him here in New York. To me, with Kyrie Irving, I think he was maybe led to believe one thing, and then something else has happened to fall that apart. I don't know, maybe he had a deal in place with someone or to make him an exception. But the rumor is that he was working on something. With the NBA, with the Nets. And the Nets have basically said, no, can't be a part-time player. Part-time player in the sense that he wouldn't be able to be playing in Brooklyn. I just think, honestly, that in this case, especially since he wants to be here with Harden and Durant, I think he was just led on to believe one thing, and he did all his research on one matter. And now he's simply collecting his data on what he's faced with. That's, getting the vaccine, their effects, so on and so forth. Or, he probably has an option of not getting it because the mayor, there'll be an election for a mayor in November here in New York. And, if this, if the candidate that wins lifts the mask mandate, then, or the vaccine mandate rather, then Kyrie Irving is back on the team, back playing NBA. And and it seems like it's been one thing after another. I just think Kyrie Irving was meant or led to believe one thing, and then another thing has happened. And he's at a point where he just wants to do his research. I think that Kyrie Irving will be eventually back with the Nets relatively soon. But he's been kind of almost like, I don't know, almost like the voice of the voiceless for, because it does feel like you're bullied to take it. But in the same regards, and you're saying, right, you don't have to take the vaccine. It's your choice. So it's a lot to digest with Kyrie Irving. He wanted to be here. This is where he wanted to play. I don't think that he's doing this intentionally. And I do think eventually that he will come back to the Nets. But just a situation to keep your eye out here in New York. Just really unique situation. But I just don't think that he's doing this on purpose. I really don't. I just think it's, I don't know, it's something to definitely shake and nod your head at. Before I leave you for a quick break, just to wrap up the show here, and I hope you're enjoying On Tap. Here is a video that will talk about dun, 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 dun. Hope you guys are enjoying On Tap. We've done a few episodes here, and it's fun to do. Just gotta make sure that you stay true to your time. We're going to leave you guys off with a video while we take a short break here and return. My previews following for some of these teams in the NFL. Let's see. Here we go.
So for the wild card round, AFC, we're going to have the Browns over the Chargers, Patriots over the Bills, Titans over the Ravens.
Be right back.
In the NFC.
Let's see.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yes.
To the last two Super Bowls, thanks largely to the most talented quarterback, maybe ever, the best tight end in the NFL, fastest receiver in Tyreek Hill, and a host of other reasons not to scoff when they talk about going undefeated. But that doesn't mean much if you're losing at the point of attack. And that principle was reinforced in Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, when the Bucs defense launched an absolute all-out assault on Pat Mahomes and his injury-riddled offensive line, they couldn't stop it. So the Chiefs rebuilt that line entirely, traded for Orlando Jordan Jr., added Joe Tunney, Austin Blight, Kyle Long, and getting Lauren Tardif back from his 2020 opt-out. Mahomes with a ton of time to throw, forget about it. The big question is whether the defense will improve with the addition of Jerron Reed in the middle of the defensive line. Kansas City is counting on a number of young players to step up. If they do, and this unit can pull into the top 10 to complement the most explosive offense in the league, that 20-0 record doesn't look as impossible as it sounds. However, Andy Reid is known for resting starters once home field advantage is locked up. So the more dominant Kansas City looks, the more likely they are going to have a couple of late season losses with those star players being aligned on the bench. Look for Kansas City to absolutely dominate this year, though. I have no worries about that. Paul as well.
Triple H, it comes full.
We really, really, really have to talk about Urban Meyer. Man, Urban Meyer, he basically, after a loss, you know, where you figure you have to be like fuming, right? You're probably fuming. You need to speak with the team. You need to fix what's wrong. Talk to them on the plane ride. Kind of think up your next strategy. It's a good possibility that, you know, that the Jaguars are going to go winless, right? But talk strategy. Go on the team plane. Maybe it'll be a good time to try to air out your frustrations. Maybe have a team meeting on the plane ride back. Or maybe, you know, you talk to certain players, see how they're feeling, see, you know, what everyone's expecting, you know, try to get the pulse of the team. Show that you're concerned, so that you're a head coach. Instead, Urban Meyer goes on his own plane, no team, just him, goes back to, I guess it's one of his restaurants, bar and grill type places, by himself, and then is shown when a female is dancing with him or next to him or against him. And that's circulating. This is the Jaguars head coach, Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer is not long for the NFL. I can't see it. I think he's just a college coach at best. But in the you already lost the team, Urban. You already lost the team. They don't respect you. At least I think that. Or, you know, his respect level might be very minimal. So it's a real, it's a real, ah, now, we've almost done an hour here. And, again, Urban Meyer, I just don't see how he rebounds from this. Yeah, he's slowly losing a team, and the players' view of their coach might have definitely, or has definitely, I think, changed. Something to definitely look out for, and to see how how long Urban Meyer lasts. With that, folks, we're gonna wrap this up. I did put Zach Ertz in the description. We're gonna make that video separately. They want to skedaddle out of here. We covered a lot of topics, chatted a lot. Yeah, I mean, it definitely means a lot, guys. If you subscribe, hit the like button. And guys, we will see you sometime very soon. I hope all is well. Take care.